Hello everyone, and welcome back to Brian's Mysteries and Adventures on Trail. I hope everyone is doing well. This case is taking us to southern New Mexico. If anyone has been there, I'd love to hear your experiences. We're going to be talking about Margaret Page, who was 41 years old at the time. She was hiking with her cat Miya at the time of this, which was back in early February of 2012. I'm going to have some maps up to show you. This all took place in Gila National Forest, which is in southern New Mexico. This particular area is very remote and desolate. Even on the Google Maps, it says hardly ever see anyone hiking around these parts. So it's a good area if you want to get out and be on your own. She started out on the Railroad Canyon trailhead. I'm going to have pictures and maps. These pictures are all from in and around that area. The main road that services that area is New Mexico Route 152, pictured here. She was only planning on hiking and camping for a couple of days. She parked her car in and around the Railroad Canyon Campground right here. We think it was roughly around February 10th. This is a picture of Margaret at the time. Like I said, she was 41 years old, very experienced in the area. She knew lots of not only the trails, but in and off the trails. This is a picture of her cat Miya that she was hiking with on this particular trip. It's unknown, but sometime on the first day of her hike on this trail, she veered off the trail intentionally because she wanted to be really out off the beaten trail, so to speak. So somewhere between this mile marker and Black Range, which I'm going to talk about more and show you some pictures. After going roughly a mile off this trail, she found a small creek to camp next to. Roughly 4 days later, on February 4th in the afternoon, her family reported her missing to the Albuquerque Police Department. The family knew that she had only brought a couple bags of food for both herself and her cat Miya. They were concerned by February 12th, but they waited until February 14th to actually contact the authorities. Normally, a search and rescue would get started immediately, but in this particular case, nothing really happened. These pictures are all just to give you an idea of the area. As you can see, it's very remote, very desolate. On February 12th, so 2 days before she was reported missing, a U.S. forest worker sighted her car, her Chevy car, in the parking lot in and around the Railroad Canyon trailhead. But according to a spokesman, they said that this particular forest worker didn't think anything of it because campers often left their cars for several days, so nothing went recorded and it just stopped there. Then, 13 days later, on February 25th, another Forest Service agent went by that same parking area, saw Margaret's car. He too did nothing until 10 days later, and at that time, he contacted the state police to let them know that he had seen the car there. Keep in mind, at this point, she has been missing for 3 weeks, and no one has been out looking for her, even after the Forest Service agent contacted the state police telling them about the vehicle. Somehow this was relayed to the Albuquerque police. They relayed it back to the family. It wasn't until the family then recontacted the state police telling them that Margaret's car had been found in the campground, said, "Hey, look, what is going on? Please start the search already." Keep in mind, this was 3.5 weeks after she had gone missing. It is also noteworthy that none of the search and rescue teams in and around that area had any awareness of her being missing at all. It wasn't until her family contacted the state police that the state police then contacted the Grant County Search and Rescue and other search and rescue teams, which I'm going to discuss. They finally got the search started roughly a little over 3.5 weeks after Margaret had disappeared. I also want to point out that during the time that she was missing, the temperatures were only at maybe a high of 60 during the day, but in the low 20s every night. Thankfully, there wasn't a lot of snow or rain. Based on the weather history reports, though, there was a lot of wind in the area where she had gone missing throughout that month. Once the Grant County Search and Rescue and the Donna Ana County Search and Rescue were aware of this, they launched a huge, massive effort because they knew that the odds of someone surviving in those conditions for that amount of time were very slim. These are actual pictures from the rescue taken by David Kuth, one of the crew leaders. I'll have all that information and sources in the description as always. The search was started on a Tuesday in and around the campground and trailhead where her vehicle was found. They traveled only a mile and a half up off the canyon trailhead into this area called the Black Range, and they were stunned when they found Margaret and her cat both alive. When they came upon the campsite, Margaret was all wrapped up in her blue sleeping bag and the cat was just kind of curled up beside her. This is a picture of after they were rescued. This is Miya in Margaret's sleeping bag. This is a picture, I just wanted to show you a satellite picture of the area where she was found. Coming from the north to the south, it's just literally in the middle of nowhere. Upon finding Margaret, she was very out of it, very disoriented. It wasn't until she reached the Gila Regional Medical Center she started to come about and started becoming more aware of what was going on, started talking more. During her time being missing out in those mountains, she lost almost 25 pounds. The search and rescue teams that were involved, they were very upset with the various authorities for several reasons. The first obvious being that they were not contacted even though the family had reported Margaret missing on February 14th. Especially then after two separate forest rangers saw her vehicle parked in the exact same spot. Neither of them really did anything. Well, the second one did, but it wasn't until 10 days after he saw the vehicle that he reported it to the state police, which the search and rescue crews did not understand. Another thing that one of the people on the Donna Ana County Search and Rescue team said that once the search got started, someone sent out a tow truck and immediately towed her vehicle from the area. This is not standard operating procedure. Normally, when there's a vehicle involved, they want to keep it where it is, bring in search dogs to hopefully pick up a scent in hopes that it will at least give them a starting point and direction to start looking. Both the authorities and the search and rescue crews don't know how Margaret was able to survive for that long with what she had, which was basically a bag of pretzels, a couple of chips. She was getting water from the little stream that she was camped next to. Apparently the cat was probably hunting for little rodents and things like that. Margaret is a tough woman though. She only spent a couple of days in the hospital, checked herself out, then went to stay in a Silver City hotel. Then she was finally reunited with her beloved cat, Miya or Maya. I'm not quite sure of the correct pronunciation. Here she is right here. They both are doing fine. Another reason I admire Margaret is because even though her family reported her missing and it took almost a month for the authorities to actually spring into action, she didn't pitch a fit or try and sue them or complain or do anything like that. Went about her life, kept on camping and hiking. Apparently on that particular outing that she had gotten lost on, she originally planned to be only camping for a couple of days, somehow got disoriented, thought other people would come along and find her, or she thought that by now her family would have realized she wasn't there and would have called someone. She didn't know she would be out there for a month. Thankfully, it all worked out in the end. Incredible that they were able to survive because of those low temperatures, and she did not have winter gear. I believe her sleeping bag was rated to only 40 degrees. I could be wrong on that, and she only had food for a day and a half. I'm sure some of you have already noticed that there's some discrepancies in the news articles. Some say that she was 31, others say that she was 41. Based on a consensus of all the sources, I think she was 41. I'll have those all listed in the description. I want to dedicate this video to Margaret Page and her cat Maya or Miya. I love it when stories have a positive outcome. Stories of survival and willpower. In those conditions, there's many people that may not have survived. I also want to send thoughts and prayers to all the search and rescue members who went out and helped bring her home to safety. Thank you all for watching. I really appreciate all your support and feedback. Please leave me what you think about this case in the comments section. Special thank you to co.ag for providing the background music. Hopefully I'll see you all in the next one. Take care. Hey everyone, thanks for sticking with me to the end. I really appreciate it. I'm working on several new cases right now. I should have those uploaded within the next couple of days or by the weekend. If any of you have any case suggestions, please email me or leave me a comment. My information is always in the description. If you haven't subscribed, I'd ask you to please consider subscribing. It's free and it really helps out the channel. I wanted to make this video because in the last video, a lot of people were attacking the young kids that got lost and then one that ended up dying. Everyone makes mistakes, as in this case, the authorities made several critical mistakes. Sadly and tragically, sometimes these mistakes can be fatal or very terrible for people that are involved. All we can hope for is that we learn from those mistakes. I mean, I've made tons of mistakes hiking, even with all the experience I've had, or things just happen that you weren't expecting, a storm, an earthquake, anything. I always love hearing from you guys. If you guys have any adventures or misadventures or things that have happened to you on trail, please send me an email. I'll definitely do a video on your story if you'd like me to. I like engaging with the audience, hearing from you guys. If you have any upcoming adventures, please let me know about those too. I'm thinking about doing a merch calendar again next year, as well as making mugs. Please let me know your ideas for what you'd like to see merch on this channel, and I'll definitely look into getting it done. Alright everybody, I hope you're all having a good week. See you next time.